You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. First, let's take a closer look at this bad boy. I'm curious what you're going to get inside. Okay, so ooh, we're having two controls. The other one is inside it. Ooh. But okay, the device is super small. You can see like the Chuwi box, they are using this tiny badass machine for playing some retro games in combination with the Batocera. Oh, by the way, you can just get yourself this thing and install Batocera yourself. Okay, controller, the power supply, the adapter for European users, and we're going to get an USB hub. Before the Super Console X PC edition that I reviewed some time ago, I have never seen this device or this piece of hardware. Normally we're always going to get these shitty PlayStation controllers, PlayStation 2 especially with a wire, but this thing has some similarities when it comes to the PlayStation 4 controller. Especially the grips. The grip is similar to the PlayStation 4, and therefore I like this controller even more, because I'm a big fan of the PlayStation 4 controller in general, but also of the Xbox 360 by the way. But the reason I think this is going to be one of the best controls you can get for a budget, because these things are not even very expensive. But overall, I hope in the future they will give us more of these controllers. So it's a super easy plug and play solution. It will work like plug and play, and everything is configured on the Super Console X PC, also with the Lite edition. And I think this can be a really fancy controller for in the future and now. So quick comparison, you can see there are not 100% like what I already told you, like there are some similarities, like especially with the trigger buttons. No. So the trigger buttons are not like the PlayStation 4 controller, not at all. So again, it looks a little bit like it, but it isn't. But I'm not a big fan of the trigger buttons. I just want to have them like the old school style. The D-pad feels very nice, very sturdy. The same goes for the analog sticks. So overall, the quality, I like it very much. But I will make a separate review about it in the future and test it out on some other devices. But let's talk about this bad boy, the Chuwi Mini PC. So this is a really cool device, if you ask me. It's super small, but also the form factor is super easy to bring with you. And it also comes including encasing itself, a controller, everything that we're going to need. Over here at the right side we're going to get an CF card input, headphone jack. At the back we're going to get the Type-C for powering on the device, HDMI out. We're going to get 2 times USB 3.0. Over here we're going to get nothing. We have an on and off switch. At the top we're going to get a ventilation. And at the bottom we're going to get a nice sticker of the Intel Celeron that is inside. Lark box, the type, and some other information. But let's take a close look at some other things. Let's talk about the specifications. So this is one tiny, really cool, mean gaming machine. The specifications are similar like different boxes, but only this thing is just super tiny. Intel Celeron J4125. It can even run up to 2.5 GHz. In GPU, the Intel HD600. And this thing even has 6 GB of LPDDR4. Combination with the dual boot of Windows 10 and of course Batocera Linux that we're going to test out in this video. For people who are not familiar with Batocera, it's basically based on Linux. You can make these packs yourself if you want to. You can just do the thing what they are doing over there. But it's more like an all-in-one kit. And what you're going to get is quite interesting. So with the Super Console X series, especially when you're looking at the previous video I've made with the Android editions, I must say like the Android editions are nice. We have a lot of old stuff from Atari up to Commodore 64 and it's, let's say, up to PlayStation 1. The Android based versions most of the time run everything just fine. But the thing is like with the mini PC editions, we're going to get more options, especially with Batocera. So this image contains even like category system, but also like when it comes to different kind of games. But what we're going to do with this video is very simple. We're going to test up the high-end stuff, and the reason is very simple. Because we know like the Atari and the real stuff up to PlayStation 1 will run just fine. But if you want to see some more stuff here on the channel, let me know. Because on my second channel, The Wicked Brain Fart, there I like mostly update game list and other testing videos. But okay, so let's take a closer look at some games and let's see how they're running. Because when you're scrolling through the list over here, it feels like endless. There is so much that you can see. There is so much you can play. I think you need like lifetimes to play everything. Yeah, seriously, there is so much stuff. But okay, let's take a close look at it. And what are we going to get? There is so much, so much. Alright, so first up, let's play Atomic Wave. And this is a system that doesn't run that great on Android boxes or any like cheaper devices. When we're having like even a mini beefy system like the Chuwi, you can play these games. Okay, so for the next test I want to try out Nintendo GameCube, just to see how it will run on the mini version. The stuttering you see is always something that happens with these boxes, but let's try the game and let's see how the actual gameplay is. Okay, like it has a lot of problems with the beginning of the game. Okay, so let's try the actual game just to see what happens now. But you can hear even in the gameplay when I'm not boosting up, it struggle getting F-Zero GX to run properly. That happens too when you're having like not enough power. F-Zero GX is one of the harder games to emulate. So if you're going to choose a different game that has less problems, it's highly possible that will run just fine. But I played this game a lot on my original GameCube and I love this game so much, and it's very demanding when it comes to emulation, and so a great test. Next up, Cruising the USA, and this game is really demanding, and a lot of emulators in combination with the low-end stuff have issues with this. Glitches, stuttering. And even with the mini Super console, it runs very good. But you need to take consideration this game doesn't run well on the Pandora's box, on a Super Console X, just a normal edition, the Pro, the Stick, and the Raspberry Pi 4 also has an issue with this game. Okay, so let's go to another system, PlayStation 1. This is a system that can be played on many different devices nowadays, but still I want to include it in the testing video. So let's boot it up. Let's check the loading times. They'll be slightly longer than I can do of the USB connection. Alright, let's go. Let's buckle up. And I think I'm missing out the soundtrack, so the image they are using is not complete. But it doesn't spoil the fun. Gotcha! Super edition of the console PC family.
Get ready for the next
I think it will run just fine.
Round one. Fight. You win. Round two. Fight.
Okay, next up, PlayStation 2. So this is a system that most of the time doesn't even run on low-end devices.
Imbeciles.
Nincompoop! That's the long... That's a very long time I hear that word, nincompoops. But I say that I am very surprised to see that this game runs actually pretty decent now.
What are you looking at, fuzzhead?
You're talking to me? Look at yourself, nincompoop. And the loading times again. Loading, 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 loading. But I'm surprised that this mini version seems to be running the PlayStation 2 games very well. That was like a very big difference with sound levels between the emulators. But I was expecting nothing of a problem when it comes to Sega Dreamcast. Like with the EMULIC, the Android devices, that will run Dreamcast, most games. But a mini PC like this, with some beefy specs, we're going to get no problem when it comes to this normal native resolution. I think you're going to upscale it to 4K and higher resolutions, then we're going to get issues. And you just need a powerful PC for that. Alright, so next up, let's try another game. But the same with this. I won't expect any big problems. Crap. I have this idea that the controls are all messed up. Ah, there it is. So normally with this move, with a low-run system, it will like struggle big time. But now, no problem at all. I do hear some struggles when it comes to the music, but I don't see the weird glitches that I've seen before with Android boxes. So now with Batocera and PCs getting cheaper and also tinier, the possibilities, I think in the future now, is basically endless. There were so many awesome things you can do with this, especially when it comes to the hard drive. So an external hard drive, you can plug it into any x86 piece of hardware and you can just play yourself some games. Of course, depending what kind of hardware there's inside the machine, that basically says like what kind of games you can play. So the Chuwi box, it's a fascinating piece of technology. It's super small. Look at this, like I can hold it in 2 fingers. It's just really amazing. Okay, the controller itself, I must say that I am a big fan of this device, this piece of hardware. So if you have ever used this controller, let me know in the comments, because I would love to hear your opinion about it. But for me, maybe this can be like my #1 fake controller from AliExpress that you can buy for your system.